What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. It's a beautiful Monday here, and we're super excited to be here with you all tonight. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist. This is Marissa Carlin. She's a dietitian, and we're the co-founders of Healthcare Business University and the creators of this amazing group, Business Growth Secrets for Dietitians and Nutrition Coaches. And every single Monday, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we are here with valuable trainings on business, mindset, marketing, sales. And every now and then, we have some amazing guests that we bring on to share their stories and inspire you like crazy. So Kim, thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. And so Kim, I think it would be amazing if you just give us a little bit of a backstory, a little background into, what you've done and where you are today.
Okay. Well, Hockey Mom RD was really born on Bath Creek when I was on a raft with my family, with my brother and my two sons, Robert and Duncan, and had a download, and I think God gave it to me. It's Hockey Mom RD. I wasn't happy with the business that I had in town. It was brick and mortar. And I bought the domain the next day and didn't look back. And so it's been 10 years in the making. Along the way, I was teaching at East Carolina University, and I was, trying to do my blog on the side, trying to build my Facebook group. I did write my book, Eat, Skate, Win, 7 Steps for Your Youth Ice Hockey Star to Eat Like a Champion. And that was published in May of 2014. So I wrote and published my book. And then I created a course, all those years of teaching at the university and knowing how to use PowerPoints and everything. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to put together a course. So I put together my course. And then I worked with a number of different coaches along the way, trying to, get to that next level, even while I was teaching at the university. And I just didn't seem to, I get like different bits and pieces of the program, build your email list, do this, do that. And it wasn't until I accidentally found you guys, believe it or not. I knew about Marissa from some group. I can't remember what it was. And then I saw that you had friended me, Javi. And I'm like, who's this guy? And I was like, okay, whatever, ding. And then, not too long after that, that was July of 2021, you guys held your 5-day challenge, 5-day Facebook group challenge. And my Facebook group was sitting at 128 and I couldn't make it budge. And it was hard to get it to 128. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to do this and just see, what else can I learn? Well, what else did I learn during your 5-day challenge? I more than doubled my group. So it's like, okay, this is cool. And so that's kind of it in a nutshell of where I'm at today. So I don't know how much more you want me to say.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing. And that's so funny how, I friend requested you. You're like, who is this guy? And so many of you watching this right now might be thinking, hey, that's actually how I found Javi and Marissa too. And so here we are. I love that. That's incredible, Kim. And so you said you doubled your Facebook group just during the challenge.
Yes. Yeah. I went from more than doubled. I went from 128 to like 350 or something. And I was just amazed. The only thing I did was I changed the name based on your 5-day challenge coaching. And I was just like, okay, this is working. And then I was like, you know what, at the end of your 5-day challenge, you're like, if you want more, hop on a call with us. I'm just like, okay, if I can do this much during their 5-day challenge, imagine what I can do when I'm paying to be in their program. So that's when I got on the phone with you and just signed up immediately. I was just like, okay, let's go. And can I say how many people I have today?
Yes, please. Absolutely.
I haven't actually looked at the numbers today, but I'm right at about 2010 with about 30 people still waiting to get into my group. And
That's so good. And I think the most important thing, Kim, and for everyone watching, like you took what we taught, and a lot of people, they'll take that and be like, okay, the information was nice and it was helpful, but they won't do what you did, which was immediately take action on it and implement it. right? And continue to do that, right? You just don't do it once and like, oh, that's it. The success is there. You have to continue to do that. And so that's what you did, Kim. And I think, a lot of the people in our community, for everyone, watching right now, we believe that that's you as well. And that's why you're here watching tonight's interview with Kim, because you have that inside of yourself. And I think that's just kudos to you. We had the sign, we just pointed and you followed. And so all the credits to you, Kim. That's amazing.
Yes, I would love to add too. I see so many people jumping on live watching. So if you guys are live and watching, first of all, say hello. Would love to see who's watching. And then second, we're going to be, interviewing Kim here, asking a lot of questions about her business. And, the biggest thing really is that she hit her first 5K month. So everyone give it up for Kim.
Yeah.
Yay! So that's incredible. And I know that a ton of people are thinking to themselves, how did she do it? So we're going to ask some questions and kind of talk about like some of those mindset shifts, those business shifts that you had to make to actually hit your first 5K month. But for those of you guys that are watching, if you guys have any questions, and Kim, I hope this is okay with you. If they could drop them in the chat, maybe as we're going, or maybe at the end, we can get some of those questions answered if we don't already talk about them. Sound good?
Most definitely.
Okay, awesome. So I think the first thing, it's very clear that your niche is hockey, right? Like,
yes. We work with youth ice hockey players and their parents.
Awesome. And so just so everyone can kind of hear about like what products, programs, services you offer. I know that's going to be a big question. It's like, how did you get to 5K? What are you selling them?
Okay, so the first one was my book. So that sells for $14.95 on Amazon. I do not get $14.95 from the sale of my paperback book. I get $6.71. And then I think it was in 2018, I went back to my book writing coach and I paid for her to convert my book into a Kindle edition. I sell many more paperbacks than I do Kindle because people want it in their hands, and I'll get pictures of people sitting by the pool. Look what I'm reading. And this is always with me on hockey trips. And so that's super cool. So that was the first thing I created. Then I created my signature program next, my Create Championship Plate fueling system. However, I didn't realize it was my signature program back then. I just wanted to create a course because I was teaching all the time anyway. I'm like, what the heck? Why don't I create a course? And I had worked with a few one-on-one clients, so I kind of knew how I was going to step them through. So I literally paid myself to create the course. So I came up with this 4-week course, and I'm just like, okay, what do hockey players want to do? They want to have more speed, they want to have more stamina, they want to have more focus, and they want to grow their muscle. So I was like, okay, those are my first four modules. So I completed module 1. And while I was working on module 1, I was selling it to my email list only for $25 for this 4-week course. And I ran it in a Facebook group. I didn't have any bells and whistles or anything. I did my recordings and I put them in the Facebook group. So that was the second thing. And I'll get back to that in a minute. The third product is now and I created another course. It's now my Eat, Skate, Win. So Create a Championship Plate now is my signature program, and it sells for $9.97 for the 8-week program. And then my other course is a DIY course, it's called Eat, Skate, Win. It was literally a 5-day challenge. Before I met you guys with your 5-day challenge, I did my Eat, Skate, Win 5-day challenge, and people did it for free. And during it, I gave them like points in the drawing for making comments under each video that I uploaded. But now that I packaged it into a DIY course, and I sell that for $97. So I've got my book for $14.95. I've got my DIY course for $97, which follows the name of my book, Eat, Skate, Win. I've got my signature program, which is 8 weeks for $9.97. And then I created an ebook. I call it the Hockey Nutrition Playbook for Busy Hockey Parents. And I sell that for $39. It's a complete digital download. And I sell quite a few of those every month. And so those are my 4 products. My hard copy book is my $14.95. My ebook is $39. And then my DIY course is $97. And my signature program is $9.97.
Amazing. So good. And so I'm sure people are curious, how'd you become the hockey mom, RD? What did you play professional hockey? You know,
I was a dancer mostly and a basketball player in high school. I figure skated when we moved from North Carolina to Connecticut. My brother started playing hockey. But our sons were playing hockey, and I believe it was given to me from God. I mean, that's me. I wasn't thinking about it. I knew I wasn't happy with my business that I had in town. I knew I wanted to do something different. And then just literally, it was a divine download, boom, into my head while I was on that raft in Bath Creek. By the way, a lot of stuff was born from my business in Bath Creek, where Blackbeard's from. I looked at my brother, who's a very successful chiropractor, and I said, what do you think of Hockey Mom RD? He said, I love it, buy it. And then he started going off about how many kids play hockey. Because I had already started helping my sons with nutrition. And I'm just like, I could help other people. And it's just one of those things. I didn't have to really think about it. I knew I wanted to make a change, and it came to me. So.
That's incredible. And I think the lesson for everyone too is the idea. Many people would think, oh, that's so niche. Like that's such a specific group of people. Are there enough people out there, who play hockey that I can help? Absolutely. Absolutely they are. And it's just, I'm sure you've noticed, like everything that you named, like all the products, programs that you have, the title says it all, right? Someone who plays hockey knows this is the program for me because of what you've named it. And I think that's so important because it just starts to seep into everything that you do. And people feel like and when they start to talk about, their problems and what they're looking for, it's so easy to recall, Hockey Mom RD, Kim, you got to go see her. Right. And it just creates this branding over time that makes it very easy for people to refer you, which I think there's so many benefits to doing what you did, which is just to niche down. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who might be struggling to find their niche, or maybe they're in between 2 or 3 different things, or they're having that mindset of, okay, but if I niche down, like, are there really enough people in this niche that I want to work with?
Okay. So I had many people, including my mom, tell me along the way. She still doesn't know I had a 5K month. I haven't told her yet. My brother knows.
That's awesome.
There were people that said, well, why don't you just do more? Why don't you do soccer players? Why don't you do swimmers? Why don't you do this? And I tried. I'd go to the vitamin shop. I'd put out my table. I'd have flyers for baseball, flyers for, swimming. And it's just my heart was just always in hockey. And then once I started to grow my group with you all, and I learned how to talk with people and have those messenger conversations and get them on the phone and grow my group. One thing that you said a long time ago was it's a numbers game. And I've really, really seen that. So as far as niching, it can be scary. For me, I chose something that I was living. And our sons don't play hockey anymore, but now I get to help all these other like adopted sons and a few daughters of mine, succeed on the ice. And I love it. And so it has to be a passion. I mean, you have to be able to, at your worst, you have to be able to get on that computer and at least do one thing that day to move the needle forward. And if it's just inviting one new person into your group and sending them an email and making a connection, you don't know if that person's the one who's going to say, hey, I need help. I need exactly what you have. So.
Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah. I think that, we find that a lot of dietitians who have very successful businesses, and this isn't always the case, right? But from most of the ones that we've seen is that, they're helping people that either they once were, or they have this really strong connection with. So like, even though you in particular were not a hockey player, like your life revolved around it, right? And you have this crazy passion for it. And you have to be passionate about your business. You have to, because, you're already working hard at your job, your 9 to 5, whatever it is. And then to go build something on the side, there has to be a lot of passion there in order for you to actually see it through and, you know, be able to quit your job and go full time in your business. So number one, like you said, I think passion is key.
100%. And it's so interesting because at the end of the day, like if there's something that comes natural to us and that's all around us and it's something that we know well and we enjoy it, why resist it, right? It's actually easier to put yourself out there, to feel comfortable with what you're talking about, to just document your life because it is your life. And I feel like that's something that we should embrace and you know, take on. So I love that, Kim. So good.
Yeah. So when it comes to like marketing your business, I know you said that, I'm not sure if you did this, but you were saying that at least your family was saying, you know, go to these places and, you know, set up a table here, set up a booth here. So what have you done in the past to market your business? And then what are you doing now that's working really well? Like, what was that shift?
Okay. So in the past, I would set up my table at the vitamin shop in town back in like 2015, 2016, when they'd have a couple times during the year where they let vendors come in for free, just put up a table and talk to people. Obviously, I'm not going to get hockey people at the vitamin shop, but I talked to people, and what it did for me was it got me comfortable putting myself out there and talking about my business. So that's how it helped me. And then I went to the rink a few times in town. We do have a hockey program. I spoke to the ECU Pirate hockey team. Never made any money from that. But there again, it was like, okay, I was putting me in the environment and I was getting myself out there. And I was still very shy on the inside. I'm like, are people really going to listen to me? They knew me as just, you know, Robert and Duncan's mom. I think some of them knew I taught at East Carolina University. But but ultimately the way I started reaching people was online. I mean, you know, even back in 2015, when I ran my first Creative Championship Plate course, you know, for $25, I actually got 10 people in it. So I paid myself $250 to create my course. They were in Florida, Minnesota. They were all over the place. So I knew that, you know, the internet is where I need to be. You know, I've got people in my group from, oh my God, Latvia, the UK, all throughout the United States. Where does somebody come from? Australia, I think Japan. I mean, I've got them all spread out all over.
Worldwide.
So now it's, you know, it's my Facebook group. That's how I market. You know, it's what I learned from you guys. It's, you know, doing the different posts, staying consistent with my posts, doing some of my giveaways that I do, having my polls, trying to get some people on my cat's nail is stuck in the, in the tablecloth. Trying to get, talking to people, you know, behind the scenes in Messenger, and then offering them a call. I'm not going to say trying, you know, when they're ready, they're going to get on a call with you. As a matter of fact, my last 3 clients that paid me $9.97 that helped me get to my first 5K month, they literally were chomping at the bit to work with me because of what was going on with their sons. You know, one kid was told, you can play this year, but if you don't drop your weight and increase your speed, you're not going to be on the team next year. Oh, wow. Another kid has severe allergies, and every single time he goes on steroids, he gains 5 pounds and has a hard time losing it. So that's added up. And then I think all 3 of them need to lose weight this summer. And so they just came to me. And then today, I've been putting out into the universe of some mindset stuff that I know there's a team that wants to work with me. I know I'm ready. This is going to be my year that I work with a team. And I get this long message from a mom in the group, telling me all about her sons after we went back and forth a little bit, telling me about her sons. And then, do you do webinars or seminars for teams? I'd love to get this started. I'm just like, yes.
So
that's
good.
Incredible.
I work with teams, and then I have, because my numbers in my group have grown, and because of your coaching with the different types of Facebook posts to put up, I'm having more people reach out to me. Now, I might go a week and not have anybody reach out to me. So I'm reaching out and I'm doing all my stuff. But then, you know, I'll have somebody reach out to me saying, you know, hey, I bought your book, or hey, I just saw this post, or tell me about your different programs. And then from there, I get them on a phone call.
I love that. I think that's so incredible. And I took a few notes from a few things that you mentioned, and I see some questions that are also coming in the chat. So we'll definitely get to all your questions, everyone, where Kim's going to share with you what she did, even more in depth in a moment. But also, you mentioned this one thing, which I think is so key. You said, even though you were going to Vitamin Shop and, you had your booth and you were looking to get clients that way, it was still, a lot of people would look at that and see things as, oh, it's just not working. But at the end of the day, like anything that we do is working. It's either working and we externally and we see the result, or it's working on us. And I think that, like you mentioned, just the fact that you put yourself out there, that you're maybe it sounded like you were a little bit, shy in doing that, but it forced you to go out there, have conversations with people, and that develops you as a person over time, so that as you start to do stuff online, you feel more confident and more comfortable with talking to people that way. And I think that's so key, is that so many people, are doing things. It's like, oh, it's not working. But it is. Right. It's working on getting us more consistent, more disciplined, getting more confident, getting better at communicating. All these things that we don't really think about are at play when we do anything. And if we take that in, we begin to realize, I just got to keep on doing this more often. And obviously the right strategy, right, comes into play. And that's kind of what we helped you with. And that also makes a big difference, but everything else plays into that and is a part of that. Right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
At the beginning, Marissa, you said that some mindset stuff. Can I share my book and what I did in May? Okay.
Yes,
please.
So I'm in the Freedom Sprint, which is your 3-month program. And I was also in HBA. So I've been working with you guys for going on 9 months now. Wow. But you sent us this in the Freedom Sprint. I don't know, is it reversed or not? You're a badass at making money. And so I was reading it. I love the way she writes. And then I ran across something in the book that a friend of mine had told me to do. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I tried to do it. I didn't really believe it. But this time I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And so this is a check that I wrote to Hockey Mom RD, April 30th, 2022. I wrote it for $4,000. And I stuck it up. So every single time I got out of bed, I saw it. So in April, I wrote down my earnings. January was only $930. February was only $142. March was $1,458. April, when I wrote this check and really started being intentional about it, $3,440. So I didn't quite make it, but I made it. I just kept this up in my room through the month of May and looking at it. I'm like, I'm going to hit it or I'm going to go past it. And as I got closer and closer to it, I'm like, I'm going to have a 5K month. I'm going to have a 5K month. I'm going to have a 5K month. And I closed the sale on the 31st. They sent me to my 5K month.
Yes.
Yes.
So good.
Oh my goodness. That is awesome.
So, kind of like a small vision board in check form.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Jim Carrey did something very similar. He advised people to do that when he first started. I think he put $1 million on there. So we got to bump it up now.
Yeah,
we got to
rip that check, write a new one.
Well, that one's in my little book. I've got another one up in my room now. It's for 5,000 again, but I'm gonna pass it because
yes, you are.
Thanks to you guys, I started believing in myself more. And I'll share a little secret. When I get mad, can I say pissed off?
Yeah. That's fine.
When I get pissed off, I'm like, okay, I'm going to change something. You know what? And I was getting mad that I was having these people in my program, and not mad that they were in my program, but I didn't feel that they were doing the work. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to raise my price. So the next person, it was $497, like back in April. So then after that shift in my brain happened, the next person I talked to was $597. And I'm like, you know what? And I started thinking about all the one-on-one stuff and the planning that I do. And, I can tell you what to eat on a game day in like 10 minutes, but it took me 20 years to be able to do that. It took me a long time. Just because it only takes me 20 minutes doesn't mean it's only worth $25. No. And so I said, you know what? The next person I talk to, it's going to be $997. And you know what? boom, paid in full. The next person, $9.97, boom, paid in full. I'm like, oh, I can do this. You know what it's going to be when the season starts? $1,200.
Boom.
Yes.
I love it. So good. So
yes.
good.
And do you notice that the people who pay more are more committed?
Yes, but they're not as committed as I want them to be. So I think I need to charge
you have
more.
to charge them
So you
more.
gotta
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a quote, I might butcher it, but it's basically saying it's what you said. It took me 20 years to learn these things and you're paying me for the years, not the minutes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My brother pointed that out to me. He was told, I think it was some famous artist. And this lady ran into this artist at a cafe and she asked him to do a sketch on a napkin. And he did a sketch on a napkin in like 5 minutes. And then he told her how much it was going to be. And she's like, what? It only took you five minutes to do it? He's like, yeah, but it took me a lifetime to be able to paint like this, or something like that. And that really, I was at the point, I think you have to be at the point to really hear it. Sometimes we hear it and it just goes over. Yep. And when you're at the point where you hear it and you take it in, I think that's when you really start to make changes.
100%. And so what were some of the changes that you feel over the past few months even that led to this point? Because I think a lot of people, are out there, they're doing their thing. Maybe they're working full time, building their side hustle on the side, or they're in business and they may have been at it for some time as well. And they're like, oh man, like what am I missing here? Like, what are some of those tweaks that I need to make that I haven't yet? And so I'm curious for you, like from your perspective, what are some of those things that you've noticed that have changed for you?
Well, I decided I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. Because if I can do it 1 month, I can repeat it. Not that it's easy. You work every day at it. But also just starting to believe in myself. Because like even back in March, I sold the program that's now $9.97. I sold it for $2.97. So we're talking, I just had this mind shift in the past few months. And I just really started looking at all the work that I was doing, the meal plans that I was creating, the success that my skaters were having. They were going to tryouts. They were getting noticed. I had one skater that I worked with several years back. He went, and I'm still in touch with him because he's in my bigger program, which is called The Rink. It's my year-long coaching program. I don't market it. It's literally for the alumni of the Creative Championship Plate course. So if they want to keep working with me, they go into that group. So this kid is in that group, and he went to Colorado, and he just finished his sophomore year in high school. And he was given not 2, but 3 offers for next year to play in some really great places. Wow. Because of my coaching. And I've started over the past few months, I've heard more and more of when they do it and they get results. I'm just like, okay, the only way you're not going to succeed with me is if you don't put it into action, And I did have one mom say, basically I fell off the wagon. I worked 12-hour shifts. I really got behind with everything. So she took ownership of the fact that her son didn't do as well as she knew he could have done because of her lack of meal planning, not my lack of presenting the meal plan for them and even offering to get on the phone with her, but the fact that she didn't make the time to make it happen. So the shift was really, kind of what Marissa's been working with me on for like the past 5 months. Raise your price, raise your price, raise your price. And I had to get to a point where I think I was seeing so much success that I'm just like, I can do this. I can stand in this. I can stand in this spot with confidence and I can charge this amount of money. And now, hey, I'm at the point where I'm like, I am going to raise my price. And it's going to be higher, and it's still going to be an 8-week program because I'm going to add a little bit more coaching to it, but I won't have any trouble saying, it's $1,200 or maybe it'll be $1,500. I don't know.
I like that number.
Yeah.
I like that too. Yeah. So good. And it's so, exactly what you said, right? It was, you said a lot of the times we hear things and it kind of goes over our head, or we're just not in the place to hear it because like you said, we've been telling you to increase those prices for some times now, but until you believe it and until you see the transformations that are happening in the people's lives that you're working with, right? it's not going to happen. And so I think, you know, for those listening right now, like, what is that shortcut for you? Like, how can you start to believe in yourself so much that what you have is so valuable, and that every single person that is out there right now that has a problem that you can solve would be ecstatic, happy, and start to think, man, I should have paid a lot more than what I'm charged, than what they're charging me right now. Like, if you get to that point and you figure out what that is for you, you know, it's going to be a game changer, and you'll be able to collapse time, and that you'll be able to make that shift, you know, quicker. And so, you know, everything happens for a reason in its time, but at the same time, there are ways to, you know, to kind of speed that process up, which you have, Kim. And so I think that's incredible.
Yeah. How many times did I say, I wish I met you guys 10 years ago?
Quite a few.
It's true.
We wish we met you 10 years ago. You're awesome.
I love it.
So what questions? Any questions?
Yeah, oh yeah, you know what? Let's take some questions from here. And then if we have some more time, we'll ask some questions as well. So for those of you that are on right now, if you have any questions for Kim, please drop them down so we can get those answered for you. I see a couple questions here, so I definitely want to get to them. And I think the first, so easy, we got an easy question for you first, Kim. Are you a Lightning fan?
Am I what?
A Lightning fan. Tampa Bay Lightning fan.
Lightning. I like hockey. The Hurricanes didn't make it. They were beat by the Rangers. So who are the Lightning playing? I haven't been following playoffs.
You're asking the wrong
we have no idea, but Carrie was asking.
I think it's super cool that there's a professional team down in Florida. So
yeah.
I haven't watched many games. I just like hockey.
Yeah. I have never watched a hockey game in my life.
No, we need to go to one.
I hear it's amazing. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are like, they've won the Stanley Cup, you know, several times in the past year. So yeah, clap for them, because we didn't do anything.
You won't be able to follow the puck if it's going to be your first game.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what I hear. All right, so let's see. Next question is from Megan. She says, what helped you the most with growing your business and raising a family? I struggle with the mom guilt, putting more work in at nights and weekends.
Okay, so I was teaching at East Carolina University. My sons were literally raised at East Carolina University. If they were sick, they were not at home with a babysitter. They were under the podium while I was lecturing, or when they got bigger, they were in the back of the room. So they've heard all my nutrition lectures at this point. So the biggest thing that helped me was when I wrote my book. I got up at 4:30 in the morning to work on my book. I had one weekend where I did write a book in a weekend with Donna Kozik, and I told the boys I was going to be starting my book, and I kind of barricaded myself in the bedroom, and I would go out when I had breaks, but they knew mommy was writing a hockey book. But literally just trying to do it during their downtime. So my life is still kind of chaotic. I might be able to catch 2 hours here, 1 hour there. And I narrow it in and do what I can do. So I'm not going to even try to say after your kids go to sleep. I had night owls, and they were hockey players. So when we got home from hockey, they were wired. They wanted to eat. So the best time for me was literally on the weekends, if we weren't going to be having a game or something, where I could get up. I get up at 4:30. From 4:30 to 7:30, I could have designated quiet time, and I could write. And before the house became alive, so it's looking at your schedule and finding those little nooks and crannies where you can put the time in. And I mean, heck, when I was teaching, even before the business, I wrote my lectures with Robert on this side and Duncan on this boob. You know, literally, I'm not kidding. I didn't have maternity leave. I was an adjunct faculty member. There was no maternity leave. It was just all have kids and travel with them, have kids and write your book, have kids and just make it happen.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. And, you know, it's so interesting, because I've had, you know, I think at the end of the day, like we can, and I know I don't have kids. We don't have kids. And I know it's a full-time job in itself from being a kid. and seeing my brother has 2 kids, and I definitely get it. But I think at the end of the day, like we can always come up with reasons why we do or reasons why we don't. And for example, right, clear example. So my brother, love him. He's a bit unhealthy in what he eats and all this stuff that he does and whatnot. And so his big thing is like, well, I can't work out and I don't have time to plan and do all these things because I have kids, right? A week later, I go to a CrossFit gym and I see CrossFitter, right? He's married also. He has a kid, and guess what he does? He brings a kid to CrossFit. So he brings the
play.
I was gonna say cage. So it's not a cage.
He always does that.
The play pad, not a cage. The play pad. The baby's in there. You know, she's having a great time, just like watching daddy work out, and he's doing his thing. And I'm like, if you really want it, you know, you'll figure it out. And I think that's one thing. And then I also know that there's guilt sometimes. I feel the guilt, maybe not, you know, with kids, but I did feel the guilt for a long time with my family and my parents. And, you know, me, when everyone was doing things, I wanted to be there and I wasn't because I was working, you know, whether it was at school or on the business. And sometimes we have to remember that, let's say it took you heck 3 to 5 years to get to the point in your business where you're, you know, making 6 figures or multiple 6 figures, and you're only working like 10 to 20 hours a week. Let's say it took you 3 to 5 years to do that. And you had to quote unquote sacrifice for a few of those years, right? But now you have literally the rest of your life to spend with your kids, right? Whereas if you don't, and you spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years working a full-time job, 9 to 5, being exhausted and going through that rat race, right? The time is going to pass no matter what. And so we have to make that decision. Like, can we sacrifice some of our energy, some of our time, some of the things that we want to do or spend time with our kids with, and in the short term, to be able to spend as much time as we want with them for the rest of my life. And it's not an easy decision by any means, but they're decisions that we have to make. And so I think that's important for everyone to think about, you know.
Here's a quote from Jerry Rice. I gave it to my very first hockey player when he was 15 years old, and he was going to the USHL Combine, which is a really high level tryout. You have to be invited. They do all kinds of skin caliper tests and all kinds of measurements on you. And I was helping him decrease his body fat before he went. And I sent him a note that said, from Jerry Rice, today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't.
I love that.
And you can put that into a sports situation. You can put that into a business situation. But because I got up at 4:30 in the morning and wrote my book, because I put it out there, and it was an investment. I didn't publish it myself. I'm not about doing it myself. I wanted it to be my big business card. Now it brings in 100, like this last month, it brought in over $150, just a passive income. This month, I cannot wait to see what my royalty check is this month, because I got as high as number 5 on Amazon's top 100 hockey books. I'm still pushing for that number 1 spot.
That's amazing.
I'm going to get it.
That's so good.
But if I hadn't written that book, I wouldn't be on Amazon. I wouldn't have people people literally don't even know about me, and they find my book and then they join my group. Usually doesn't happen that way, but I've had a handful of people say, hey, I bought your book, blah, blah, do you do nutrition coaching? Do you, X, Y, and Z? So.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Were there any more questions? That was a great question.
Yeah,
I think it was from Megan.
That was a really great question. Let's see. Any other questions? Go ahead and put them down below. In the time being, as we see if there are any other questions there, what do you foresee for the future of your business? Like, where do you see yourself going in the next year, next few years? Like, what does that look like for you? I'm
getting clearer with it. So I am working on blogging now with Katie Dodd. So my goal is to, I'm completely trashing the website that I have, my original website. I'm building a new website. So my goal is to get on Mediavine so I can have more passive income to free up some more time. And then, so within the next year, work with one team, raise my prices so I don't have to work with as many one-on-ones or like the group. So the group is smaller, but nets me more income for myself, which in turn gives me more time to give to them. Yeah. And then my blog. And then ultimately, I want to have some courses that they can, like a few more DIY courses. And then as I create those DIY courses that people can click and buy for, $47 or $147, then I will add them to my Creative Championship Plate course so that keeps growing. So that's kind of my year, maybe 2 years. I like to look a year at a time. So
I love it. I'm so excited to see the growth of Hockey Mom RD and the business. It's going to be so awesome. And I mean, your Facebook group, like I'm in it. It's so great. And I've been in it for close to a year now. And just to see the growth that you had and like the awesome wins that you get your clients, I'm like stoked for the growth of your business.
Thank you.
Yeah. So as we wrap up here, are there any more questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So I'm going to end with this one. What advice would you have for dietitians, nutrition coaches who are just starting off with their business and want to hit their first 5K month, 10K month, and really want to go full-time in their business? What advice do you have for them?
It's simple. It might not be simple for them once I say it, but start your Facebook group. Don't just like sit on the fence and think about it. And I got to have the perfect name or anything. Just take your challenge or get on a discovery call with you guys and talk about it and start your group. Like I said, if I'd met you guys 10 years ago, when did I start my group? 8 years ago? If I had met you guys when I started my group, it wouldn't have been Hockey Mom Nutrition Solutions for hockey parents. They're not going to look for that. What are they looking for? Youth Ice Hockey Nutrition Solutions for busy hockey parents. What do I feed my kid? I'm so freaking busy. So I'd say start your group, work with you guys, and just dive in. And you don't necessarily have to worry about niching down right away, because that might give you so much stress that it almost immobilizes you. Kind of have an idea, and then as you move forward, it'll flush it out. For me, I was already in 2012, the boys had already been playing hockey for 3 years. I was living at the rink. People knew I taught at ECU. They knew I was a dietitian. They were already asking me questions. So it kind of was natural for me. So just, I swear, the Facebook group has been gold mine for me. And learning how to talk to people, getting them in the group, giving away that freebie, do you want to, are you interested or no? No, I'm not interested. So I don't send them like a little personal email. I'll just let them kind of stay in the group and they can figure it out and piece it together. I'm now calling it Spaghetti on the Walls Hockey Nutrition. When you're tired of spaghetti on the wall hockey nutrition, I'm here.
I love that.
That's so good.
That's so good.
But yeah, just don't think about it too much. Literally, Hockey Mom RD popped into my head. I believe God gave it to me. My brother said, buy it. The next day I was on the computer, GoDaddy. I bought the domain, and then my blog started. Literally, my blog was on Blogger way back in the day. And then I built my own little crappy WordPress.com site. and then I did my Weebly site. So just get started. But I think that the structure of what you guys provide is a gold mine. You provide a way that you can get clients to know, like, and trust you. You can get in front of them and share some value. And then as you get a client, even you get your first client that has a great success, like you guys say, take a snapshot, share it in the group, cover their names, any identifying information if you haven't asked them for permission. But, and then as you start to see the successes, that will help you narrow it down if you need some narrowing.
Awesome.
But if you're not 100% passionate about, if you have the flu and you need to move your business forward and you don't have 5 minutes that you can give to your business, that's not the topic for you. So,
man, this is so good.
Yeah. So I took a few notes here, basically summing up what you said, and it was take action. Just start, right? Just start taking action. And even if you're not 100% clear on exactly what you want to do, you're not going to figure that out just by sitting here and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. It's going to come to you when you actually start doing the thing, because then you're going to get a lot more clarity on, okay, I love this and I'm super passionate about it. Or maybe you have to tweak this a little bit, or maybe I'm going to go in a completely different direction. So take action, start moving, start doing things. And the other one that I wrote down was listen to your intuition. I think that's a big one. Like you said, it just came to you and you were like, this is it. Like it felt really good. And I don't know about you all, but I've had those moments where like you said, like I'm in the shower and I'm like, wow, like this is a really good idea. Like I think I need to take action on it. Like those ideas just come to you, like take action on those.
Yep. And in the beginning, Hockey Mom RD stood for Hockey Mom Registered Dietitian. It didn't dawn on me that it was Robert and Duncan born in that order.
Like, oh, wow.
Hello.
That's awesome. Wow. That's incredible.
So now if anybody ever challenges me about what the RD stands for, it's Robert and Duncan.
That's a good one.
I love that.
Wow, that is really cool.
I love that.
Yep.
No, so this was so good. And so for anyone, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask Kim. We are hosting an event and we would love everyone to be there. This is the Jumpstart Your Business event, and we're hosting it on a Saturday. That way you can take half the day off. You can tune in and learn from us and a few of the guest speakers that we have there. It is a one-day event. It's from 10 to 3 p.m. So it's about 5 hours. And we're going to break down exactly what Kim mentioned. So we are going to be talking about our Facebook group system, how to set that up, what it looks like, how to gain clients from it. We're also going to be breaking down for those of you that are unsure of like an idea of who you want to work with, going to help you do that, going to help you come up with the offers, kind of like Kim has. She has her offer with an awesome name that attracts her ideal clients, going to help you with that. We also have one of our speakers, Andres Ayesta, who many of you may have watched his interview in here. He has a multiple six-figure practice. He's been in the game for a few years and, is a rock star on social media. So he's going to break down his business mindset. He's also going to break down his content strategy and how he runs things. And so it's an event you're not going to want to miss. It is called the Jumpstart Your Business event. So if that's something that you're interested in and you want some info on, just go ahead and put the word Jumpstart in the chat and I'll get you some details. But with that said, Kim, thank you so much for tonight. It was amazing hearing your story, how you've got to where you are today. And we're just excited to see your ongoing growth. And I know everyone else who's with us tonight is just super, super excited for you. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you, guys. See you online.
Yeah.
Awesome, everyone. Well, have a great rest of your night. We'll talk soon.
Take care, everyone. Good night.